you ever wondered what the difference is between baking soda and baking powder? On today's episode of Food Science Baking Club, we're going to teach you a little bit of science and help you find out. Hi! Welcome to the Food Science Baking Show. I'm Brianne.
I'm Rolfin.
I'm Hannah.
I'm Kyle behind the camera.
And today we're making pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. So we're making two different batches, and we're going to see the effects of using baking powder versus baking soda.
Cool. So first we're going to add all the dry ingredients together. We're going to put the flour in.
Flour and the salt, and I'm going to do baking powder.
Yep. And I'm going to do baking soda.
Okay, so the reason why we're mixing doing the dry ingredients first is because we do not want our baking soda and baking powder to react quite yet. Mostly our baking powder.
We want to get it like all mixed together so it's not reacting in one spot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so baking powder is made up of two acids for a double leavening reaction. The first acid is monocalcium phosphate, and then the second one is the sodium aluminum phosphate in the current baking powder that we're using. The monocalcium phosphate reacts when it's mixed with the wet ingredients, but the sodium aluminum phosphate reacts when it's both wet and hot. So the reaction will happen once we start cooking it.
We're going to go ahead and add all the wet ingredients, which is the sugars. And technically sugar is not actually a wet ingredient, but in order for it to mix together appropriately or accordingly, they have you add it in with the wet ingredients.
Now, 1 egg for the recipe seems a little small for some people. This makes perfect sense because an egg is a combining ingredient. It helps combine all the ingredients. But the pumpkin puree that we're using to make these pumpkin chocolate chip cookies also works as a combining agent, as well as a wet ingredient.
Now adding chocolate chips in, and we're gonna mix it, and then we'll be done.
All right. You can load this. We're gonna go half only baking powder and then half only baking soda, so we can see that nice contrast.
2 hours later.
Okay, so they are ready to go into the oven. We have baking powder, baking soda, and
we have faith in science.
we have so much faith in science that we did not label them, so we believe we can tell the difference when they come out.
Yes.
But we will let you know when they do. Okay.
8 hours later.
Okay, so can you guess which one's which? Actually, this one is the baking soda, and this one's the baking powder. As you can see, the baking powder one has a little more structure, and so it's puffed up more. And then the one with just baking soda is flatter. It did puff up a little bit because there's acidity in the canned pumpkin, which reacted with the baking soda. But if you ever run out of baking soda or baking powder, they're actually not the same, so you can't just use them interchangeably. Okay.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Pretty good.
There you go. Kyle, to you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
That's all, folks.